The film opens with a tense and desperate scene. A family is trying to cross the border illegally, guided by a smuggler who treats them harshly. Fear is already in the air, but things take a horrifying turn when they spot a soldier standing on a distant hill. At first, it seems like they might get caught, but suddenly the soldier jumps down in an unnatural way. As he gets closer, something feels terribly wrong. His veins are glowing blue, his teeth are black, and it becomes clear that he is no longer human. Within seconds, he attacks the entire family. One by one, they are infected. The horror spreads instantly. To understand how this nightmare began, the story jumps back 2 days. We are taken inside a secret lab where a scientist is conducting dangerous experiments on animals. A military commander arrives and pressures him, saying that high-level leaders will soon visit and they need results immediately. This project is too important to fail. At the same time, we are introduced to a powerful gangster named Alonzo. Even inside prison, he controls his entire drug empire. His influence is so strong that even jail cannot contain him. But today, things are different. Authorities have decided to transfer him to a high-security prison from which no one has ever escaped. The operation is risky, and both police and special forces are involved. Back in the lab, a government minister arrives to inspect the experiments. The scientist explains that he is developing a drug that will turn soldiers into unstoppable fighters. These soldiers will feel no pain and continue fighting even after serious injuries. To demonstrate, he injects the drug into a pig. But instead of becoming stronger, the pig dies instantly. The demonstration fails completely. The minister becomes furious. He accuses the scientist of wasting time and gives him only 1 week to deliver results. Under pressure and frustration, the scientist loses control. He injects another pig with a double dose and throws it among the dead ones. Later, soldiers dump these dead pigs into the desert, not realizing the danger they are unleashing. Meanwhile, inside the prison, Alonzo's allies attempt to rescue him. A woman enters pretending to be a journalist, while another accomplice disables the cameras. But Alonzo, suspecting betrayal, kills his own partner and uses the body to fake his presence. When the special forces arrive, they find the dead body on the bed instead of Alonzo. By then, he has already escaped. Back in the desert, something terrifying begins. A hungry wolf approaches one of the dead pigs, thinking it has found easy food. But the moment it bites into the flesh, the pig suddenly opens its eyes. Its appearance is horrifying. Its teeth are sharp and unnatural. Within seconds, the pigs attack the wolf and tear it apart. These are no longer animals. They have become something else entirely. After feeding, the infected pigs move into a nearby tunnel. And this tunnel leads directly to the prison where Alonzo escaped. At the same time, special forces enter that same tunnel, searching for Alonzo. Suddenly, explosions go off, collapsing parts of the tunnel. The soldiers manage to survive, but before they can recover, they are attacked by the infected pigs. The soldiers fight back and manage to kill the pigs, but not before getting bitten. Without realizing it, the virus has already spread to them. Back in the lab, the scientist continues his work. He refines the formula and injects another pig, this time exposing it to gas. At first, it appears dead, but moments later, it suddenly wakes up. This time, the results are different. The pig becomes aggressive, attacking everything around it. Instead of dying, it has transformed into something stronger and uncontrollable. The scientist is thrilled. He believes he has finally succeeded. He calls the commander and announces that the mission is a success. According to him, this new version can create super soldiers who feel no pain. He confidently claims that with a few adjustments, he will be able to control their minds as well, preventing them from going out of control. But while transporting one of these infected pigs, a soldier casually interacts with it, thinking it looks harmless. The moment he touches it, the pig bites his finger. And just like that, the infection begins to spread again. Within seconds of being bitten, the infected soldier begins to change. His body trembles violently, and his behavior turns aggressive. It doesn't take long before he fully transforms into a zombie. The team quickly restrains him, tying him tightly to a bed. But something is different about this infection. The soldier isn't just a normal zombie. He begins to show unnatural strength. Slowly, he starts breaking free from the straps, as if the restraints mean nothing to him anymore.
At the same time, outside the prison, the infected Rangers are now hunting Alonzo. These are not mindless creatures. Even though they are zombies, they are still focused on their mission. As they move, they attack and devour anything in their path, even animals like snakes. Meanwhile, Alonzo is hiding inside a building with his young son. Trying to keep him safe, he gives the boy a drone and strictly warns him not to go outside. But like any curious child, the boy ignores the warning. As he wanders out, he comes face to face with a horrifying sight. The same smuggler from the beginning, now turned into a zombie, stands in front of him. Inside the building, no one notices the child's absence because chaos is unfolding. A spy is trying to reveal Alonzo's location. When they attempt to capture him, he escapes and runs into the same tunnel Alonzo used earlier. Back outside, Alonzo's assistant realizes the boy is missing. He rushes to find him and discovers the child standing near the zombie, confused and unaware of the danger. The zombie suddenly attacks. Without hesitation, the assistant jumps in to save the boy. He manages to push the child away, but in the process, he gets bitten. The moment he realizes what has happened, he understands his fate. He tells the boy to run back to his father before it's too late. The child runs to Alonzo and brings him back, but by the time they arrive, the assistant is already dead. The boy is heartbroken. He had grown close to the assistant, who was even teaching him how to use a gun. But the grief doesn't last long. Suddenly, the assistant's body begins to move. He rises again, now fully transformed into a zombie. He grabs the boy, and without any choice left, Alonzo shoots him. The child, now terrified, tries to explain everything to his father. He tells him about the zombie, about what he saw. But Alonzo refuses to believe it. He thinks his son is imagining things and scolds him instead. Back in the lab, the infected soldier is going through intense hallucinations. The scientist ties him to a table and continues experimenting. The soldier begins seeing strange visions, almost like a different world made of particles and energy. The experience causes him unbearable pain. His body shakes uncontrollably. To stabilize him, the scientist injects something directly into his heart. Instantly, the soldier calms down. Excited, the scientist declares that the experiment is successful. He believes they have finally created a true super soldier. To test his strength, he places a ball in the soldier's hand and orders him to crush it. At first, the soldier resists, but when they shock him, he transforms again into a zombie-like state. This time, he obeys instantly. He crushes the ball with ease. But his strength goes beyond control. He destroys the table itself and starts going completely out of control. Before he can attack anyone, the commander takes action and shoots him in the head. The scientist is furious. He shouts at the commander, saying they needed that subject alive to extract his blood and continue the experiments. Now, their only success is gone. Meanwhile, back with Alonzo, the situation worsens. Alonzo himself has been bitten in the stomach while saving his son from the assistant. The infection is now inside him. The boy, still shaken, tries to explain what happened through drawings, showing how the assistant was attacked. As Alonzo looks at the drawings, he realizes that his son isn't imagining things. Something real is happening. Taking this seriously, Alonzo orders his men to go outside and kill anything that looks like a monster. Outside, the infected Rangers are already there. More forces arrive to capture them, but the moment they engage, the zombies attack brutally. And something even more terrifying is revealed. As they fight, these zombie Rangers begin to show signs of memory. They are not completely gone. They can still think. Meanwhile, the chaos continues to spread. Alonzo's men, along with his son, begin fighting off the infected one by one. But in the middle of the battle, the boy sees something unexpected. The assistant, who they believed was dead, is still alive, or rather, still moving as a zombie. The assistant suddenly charges toward the boy, ready to attack. But just before reaching him, something strange happens. For a brief moment, the assistant seems to remember who the boy is.
Instead of killing him, he stops and lets him go. At the same time, another danger approaches. On the road, Alonzo's enemies are closing in. Now, 3 different forces are hunting him. The Rangers, who were originally assigned to capture him. The police, who believe he is responsible for the escape. And a third group, his rival gangsters, who want him dead. None of them realize that they are walking straight into a deadly zone filled with infected creatures.
Back in the lab, the scientist is busy performing an autopsy on the dead super soldier. He carefully removes organs and studies them, trying to understand the transformation. At that moment, the commander receives urgent news. The virus has spread rapidly. Trained soldiers have already been killed. The situation is out of control. The commander is clearly disturbed. He never supported these experiments, but now he is forced to deal with the consequences. Realizing the danger, he gives a strict order. All zombies must be eliminated immediately. But the scientist refuses to accept this. Furious, he argues that at least one subject should be kept alive. He has spent years working on this project and cannot let it go to waste. The commander looks at him coldly and questions whether he cares more about his career or the lives at risk. The tension between them grows. Meanwhile, at Alonzo's hideout, the situation becomes intense. Waves of zombies attack the building. Alonzo and his men fight back, shooting them down one after another. But when it comes to the assistant, Alonzo gives a different order. Instead of killing him, he asks his men to tie him up and bring him inside. He wants to study him, to see if the zombie still has the ability to think. However, when he observes the assistant closely, it seems like there is nothing left. Just a mindless creature. Alonzo prepares to kill him, but his son stops him. The boy reminds him that the assistant didn't kill him earlier, so he shouldn't be killed now. Hearing this, Alonzo hesitates and decides to keep him alive. Later, Alonzo speaks to his son. He explains that sometimes, when someone is suffering too much, it is better to end their pain. But the boy asks a painful question. Did he kill his mother to end her suffering too? Alonzo is left speechless. The question cuts deep. Hurt and angry, the boy runs away, unable to accept the truth. This time, Alonzo doesn't stop him. Instead, he hands him a gun, silently trusting him to protect himself. Elsewhere, a reporter who is secretly connected to Alonzo approaches the area with a colleague. When their car breaks down, a priest offers them a lift. Everything seems normal until suddenly, one of the infected from Alonzo's group appears on the road. The reporter recognizes him and calls out his name, hoping he might remember. But the infection has taken over. The zombie attacks the priest brutally. The car goes out of control, and in the chaos, it crashes into a ditch. The situation turns deadly. The zombie drags the priest out and kills him without hesitation. The women try to defend themselves. They shoot at the zombie, but the bullets have little effect. It keeps coming at them. At the last moment, one of them shoots him in the head. Even then, the zombie doesn't die immediately. It takes time before he finally stops moving. Just then, a man from Alonzo's hideout arrives. He rescues them and takes them inside for safety. Back at the hideout, Alonzo's son tries something unusual. He attempts to train the zombie assistant, hoping that some part of him is still alive. For a brief moment, it seems like the assistant recognizes him again. But the control doesn't last. The zombie breaks free from the chains and attacks the boy. This time, the boy doesn't hesitate. He uses the gun his father gave him and shoots the assistant in the head, killing him for good. Hearing the gunshot, Alonzo and his men rush outside. Seeing what happened, Alonzo feels proud of his son's bravery. But the boy is not proud. He is shaken and saddened by what he had to do. And before they can process anything further, a new threat arrives. The Rangers, now completely infected, have reached the hideout. They move like wild animals, attacking everything in their path. At the same time, a helicopter appears in the sky. It carries Alonzo's enemies. And now, all hell is about to break loose. The situation spirals out of control when one of the zombies suddenly hurls a massive rock at the helicopter in the sky. The impact is devastating. The helicopter crashes instantly, adding to the chaos already unfolding around them. Inside the hideout, Alonzo and his people rush to take cover. But safety doesn't last long. The zombies break in,
turning the place into a death trap. In a desperate attempt to survive, Alonzo hides with his son under a pile of toys. For a moment, it seems like they might stay unnoticed. But then, a female zombie ranger finds them. She grabs Alonzo and begins choking him, overpowering him with brutal strength. With no other option, Alonzo throws himself out of the window, taking the zombie with him. Even outside, she continues attacking him, completely dominating the fight. Just as she is about to kill him, a gunshot echoes. It's his son. The boy shoots the zombie in the head, saving his father's life.
Shaken and terrified, the child runs away and encounters another zombie. He quickly hides under a table, trying to stay silent. But the creature spots him and lunges forward. Just in time, Leah appears and shoots the zombie. She has been recording everything, capturing the horrifying truth. The attacks, the killings, everything is being documented. Alonzo arrives and immediately scolds her. Even in such a deadly situation, she is focused on filming. It becomes clear that Leah had been using Alonzo all along, getting close to him just to gain access to powerful people and build her career. Alonzo is furious. For him, this is about survival. But for her, it still seems like a story. Outside, the fight intensifies. Alonzo's men battle the zombies using fire and precise blows to the head. Then, suddenly, an army truck arrives. The commander orders the zombies to surrender or be killed. Listening to this, Alonzo and his group realize something important. The soldiers are not here for them. They are here for the infected. Seeing this as their chance, Alonzo and his allies decide to escape. Even enemies among them put aside their differences because survival is the only priority now. Meanwhile, something unexpected happens. Some of the infected soldiers begin to act like humans again. They drop their weapons and surrender, trying to show that they still have control over their minds. They are not completely gone. They can think. They can choose. Watching this, the scientist becomes excited. For him, this is proof that his experiment worked. He believes these soldiers can still be saved. But the commander refuses to take any chances. Without hesitation, he orders his men to open fire. Gunshots echo across the battlefield. But instead of dying, the infected soldiers scatter and escape. Amid this chaos, Alonzo and his group make their way back through the tunnel, heading toward the prison route as their escape path. But danger follows them even there. A zombie suddenly attacks Alonzo, grabbing his hand and biting him. In pain, Alonzo quickly shoots the creature and frees himself. However, he hides the wound from everyone. This changes everything. As they continue moving toward Mexico, it becomes clear that Alonzo is now infected. He carries the virus within him, and if he crosses the border, the infection will spread. Not just in one place, but across an entire country. And with that terrifying possibility, the story comes to an end.